want to hear some of that techno music?
What's up, fam and cheese? Welcome to a new video and welcome to a new year. I'm glad to see you. I wanted to kind of pop in for a little bit and just talk about something I love, if that's okay. Something that I set goals for in this next year coming up, and also something that I wanted to reflect on. I wish we could have had the ambient smoke. I had my incense burning. You know, I keep that thing on me. As you can see, the title of this here video, got my bookshelf fittingly in the background. Maybe we'll get to see more of that this coming year. It's the product of thrifting right there. This is the product of thrifting. So in total, I'm counting that I've read about 36 books this past year. It really has been a blossoming hobby in my life. That might also include some, just a little bit, that I had maybe started the year before but finished in last year. My goal for this year is that I want to read about 40 books, give or take. That's not like something I'm holding over myself, but if you want to add me as a friend on Goodreads and keep up with how I'm doing, hit me up on Goodreads. I'm going to flash up all the books that I've read this last year. You'll notice there's a general tilt toward Christian themes, of course, because God is like the most important thing to me, and I'm with Tozier on that one. There's your reading reference right there. But I wanted to just name 3 here that I would really recommend. The first one that I'd recommend to you is Christ and Culture. Christ and Culture it's a book by Richard H. Niebuhr, I believe is his name, and I have it sitting back there somewhere, but it is really amazing. It's a bit of a heady book, but what it does, I think the value of Christ and Culture, to sum it up, is that it will give each one of us Christians a perspective on other Christians throughout history, like ways that Christians have lived out their life within the culture. And if you're a fan of things like typology, as in things like the Myers-Briggs or the Enneagram, you will really like this book, even though it's kind of hard to break down at first because he uses bigger words and really breaks things down in a way that might tire you out. I think you'll really like it and you'll really be encouraged by it. The reason I'd really recommend it on video format is because it built my overall feeling of unity with others in the body, which I think it's obviously something that was important to Jesus and the apostles. So, something worth reading for everyone out there, in my opinion. The next book that I'd recommend is called Unwanted by Jay Stringer. Now, I'm someone going forward that I want to talk more about my relationship with addiction. It's still something that's a bit of a newer, I say newer, I'm going on 4 years having been a self-professed addict. Really, I think all of us are addicts in some way. If you're defining addiction as that thing that replaces God, which is the thing which is the only thing that is capable of filling that need. And if you're someone who's reached that conclusion, who can see yourself getting addicted to different things in your life, like really food, entertainment, anything, Jay Stringer breaks down these really intense levels of addiction in this book. And there's so much freedom in it. And I think it's not just a must-read for those who are aware or feel a close tie to people in addiction and recovery. I think this is a useful book for everyone that will come across it. He comes at it from a therapist, psychiatric perspective. He does everything. He walks you through it in a very gentle way. And though the topic is very uncomfortable and taboo, he walks you through it in a way that makes you excited for the future and really gives you hope as to, hey, there's somewhere to go with this. So Unwanted by Jay Stringer would highly, highly recommend. One of the best books I've ever read. The last one I'll recommend is also pretty heady. It's a philosophy book by Soren Kierkegaard. I believe that's how you pronounce his name.
Kierkegaard or Gard.
And I love so many of Kierkegaard's books, but This one is actually it's not very well known except by a kind of a niche group, and it's called Purity of Heart. Now, I know this book might not appeal necessarily to everyone, but Kierkegaard touches on a level of, well, I'll say this, the thesis statement is really in the title. Purity of heart is to will one thing. That's the title. And that's really what the entire book is about, but he spends chapters on chapters breaking this down on little rebuttals to this and ways around it, and he comes back to his thesis statement, which I think is it's so solid and bordering on something that's universal beyond space and time, that I think this is so must read. Like, if you're anything like me, fam, it ignited me. So I think this is a book that has the potential to examine the deepest parts of you and to ignite you, even if you don't know all the words that are being said. So the 3 books I'd recommend for this year that were my favorites that I've read: Christ and Culture, Purity of Heart, and Unwanted. Those 3 books are so solid. I would put those on your must-read list. Now back to reiterate what I said earlier, I would love your recommendations for this next year. This is a very life-giving hobby for me, and I would love to hear what you would recommend. I've got a lot that I want to read this next year. So drop your recommendations in the comments. I hope this video encouraged you in some way. Last thing I wanted to say, one of my goals is for this next year to be a year where I am more active on the channel. I want to prioritize my video work going forward. I think I want to establish it as something that I have an expertise in, more so than I already do. So I think this channel is an outlet both for that and for me to share a lot of these really cool things that have been on my heart that I think will benefit, if not this generation, future generations. Either way, thank you guys for being a part of it. Kenai is going to get in the action here. You see his little tail. Can you say the outro with me? So I hope you have a very good year, everybody, and until the next time I see you, we will see you in the next video. Peace!